Alright, namaste and welcome. So previously we talked about how with random desire we can scatter in many directions and we can shift away from our way of life. So today we are also going to talk about another very important area of our life, to different approach of our life. And it is going to be another series. We are not going to complete in a single discussion, but because these areas are also very deep in need a close attention, and there is a numbers of part in this series. So in the first part we are going to talk about two approach, two approach towards our life. One approach is consumer approach, and another approach is producer approach. And we are also going to talk about in this series, in this part, actually in this part we are going to also talk about happiness, a source of happiness, misconception about happiness, and where we experience and long lasting happiness. And later, not today, in the later part we are going to talk about what can give strength to our life. Because remember, life is difficult, there is always ups and downs in life. In such situation, what can give us strength to face difficult situation of life? So it will be another discussion. So first part we are going to talk about two approach of life: consumer approach and producer approach. You may also call a service approach. We all are actually consumer, both consumer and producer also. But here we are going to talk about the approach, our attitude towards our life, whether it is our attitude towards our life is a consumer attitude, or producer attitude, or service attitude. Consumer means we try to consume, and we consume many things from this external world. We consume food, we consume knowledge, we try to buy something from the market, we try to buy a gadget, new thing, a car, this kind of approach. We try to consume from the market to our home, then we try to consume to our body. So in this way, we try to consume something from the external world. And on the other hand, producer approach. In producer approach, we try to produce something. It can be a physical product, it can be a book, it can be a cell phone, or it can be a service. So we try to produce something. So some people in the society, different approach in the society, you can see that we some human being try to our approach, our attitude to consume more and more. And in some human being we can see that some try to produce more and more. I am not going to talk about this marketing or these things, so we are just talking about consumer and producer. Marketing and selling this kind of after production is something other, relevant to service also. So you can also tell it one kind of service. So ultimately, two approach, two attitude. One is consumer attitude, another is producer attitude. So why there is a two attitude? Because all human activities, all attitude are meant for to end our sorrow and to be happy. If you closely examine our activity, our inner intention, we can see that the reason behind our every intention, every action is to be happy and to end sorrow. Consumer think that by consuming more and more they can be happy, while producer can also think that by producing more and more we can be happy. You can see our intention behind every activities is to be happy and to end sorrow. For example, in the consumer approach, in the consumer attitude, a new gadget coming to the market, and consumer think that by getting that thing, that person will happy. That's why consumer with a consumer attitude may purchase that gadget or try to purchase and consume that gadget. A consumer may think that by having a new dress of a new fashion can make the consumer happy. That's why the consumer try to buy that dress. In some cases, we try to show off. We try to show off our achievement or new thing we have just bought to other human being. Why? Because intention is to become happy. How? Because we try to show other human being. Why we are trying to show other human being? Show of other human, because we are seeking some admiration, likes and comments. So we are begging some likes and comments like a beggar with such egoistic approach. It is also in an attempt to be happy, but that thing can't make us happy. If someone has shown another thing they have bought, more costlier item, someone bought and show to us, we are going to more unhappy. So it is going to burn us from our inside, and it is can be a lifelong race if we don't understand, don't realize. So that's why egoistic behavior it comes from ignorance. It comes from ignorance of our true nature. Wise human being never take part in such kind of egoistic competition. Similarly, a person can involve, can take participate in a particular activities hours and hours without knowing what is happening surrounding to that particular person. We may externally we may think that what are this person is doing, why that person is doing, but the person is taking part in that particular activities for hours and hours long because that person is experiencing happiness by participating that kind of activities. That's why some human being sometimes completely unaware of what is happening surrounding to them when they take part in some kind of activities, but not all. So all our intention behind our activities is to become happy and sorrow. With the attitude of consumer, we think the consumer think that by consuming more and more we can be happy. So they try to consume more, they try to eat tasty food more, but those are only for momentary pleasure. By eating food we can get experience only pleasure for that particular moment, and that momentary pleasure can't give satisfaction. Similarly, a consumer may think that buying a new beautiful car can make the consumer happy, even though that person don't have the need of the car. A consumer can think that buying a new car or something gadget also make that consumer happy. That's why a person, a human being with consumer approach try to buy that particular car or other gadget from the market, from the external world, in an attempt to be happy in life. But if you examine our mind, our level of happiness, you can see we can, if our attitude is to get happiness, to buy a new car or new gadget from the external world, we can only excitement or happiness only at that moment of buying, and from the next day the level of happiness is decreasing. In fact, we have to, in the latter part of life, it is going to give us pain because we have to maintain that, we have to provide service. As long as it is going older and older, we have to maintain and we have to provide service to those particular gadget or car, whatever be. And from the next day of purchasing that car or gadget, the level of happiness diminishes from day by day. It is also called in psychology, language of psychology, hedonic treadmill. It decreases, and after a time it is going to give us pain. And think about this. If that thing can make us happy, those gadget, those external object can make us happy, then it should be give us happiness constantly at the same level. But those things are unable to give us happiness. Those things are impermanent. One day those things will be pass away, and our happiness also, level of happiness also decreases with day passes, and later it is going to give us pain. So those things can't make us happy. If you have a need of a such a things, external object, it is a different thing. To provide service, then it is a different thing. Remember, happiness is a state of the mind, mental modification. You may have seen that there are many human beings who are living luxury life. They have all those external things, that luxury house or luxury vehicle or those gadgets, but many of such a human being are frustrated in their mind. They are frustrated by tension, frustration. They are frustrated by fear, and many of such a human being, there's not, it's very common in today's society that many of such a human being can't even sleep properly at night, and some may even can even takes pill to sleep at night. On the other hand, there are many human beings that who are living a simple life with minimum thing, and they are living a happy life, peaceful life with satisfaction. So happiness is a state of mind. It is our thought and our belief that those by consuming more and more we can happy, or by taking part in production, by becoming a producer, we can have more happiness in our life. Definitely by the way of, by the approach of, by the attitude of producer, we can experience long lasting happiness, but not all kind of production. You may have seen that some people engage, we already talked that some people engage hour and hour some kind of activities joyfully because they are experiencing joy in this process. Their mind experiencing happiness in that process. And but some are taking part forcefully, or some are taking part some other intention, not a proper intention. Their approach may not make them happy. Remember, all things depends on our inner attitude towards our actions. We all eat food, but we eat food which different human being eat food for different attitude. Some people eat food to live life, and some people eat for enjoyment. So some are eating for living, or some are living for eating. But both are eating food. In both cases, they eat food, they are eating, but their attitude, their intentions are different. Our attitude, our intention makes the difference to the approach of life, and those attitude takes us to different way of life. So we need to think about all these things. We need to be convinced by our intelligence, and then we can take the decision what is good for us, and accordingly we need to make the change. And thank you for now. Take care, and be a part to make this world a better world. Thank you.